Good morning, guys. Hunting season is over. Gary doesn't know what to do with himself. Actually, I do know what to do. This time of year, I take great pleasure in the bird feeders. And this one is in pretty rough shape. I vowed not to buy a new one because they keep getting destroyed. I've actually had raccoons tear them apart, the squirrels tear them apart. So I keep doing little patch repairs every year, and hey, that's good enough, right? We're gonna patch this one up right now. And then I'm going to spend some time with the birds. We're going to go for a walk in the forest. It's a simple time of year. It's the time of year where you have to get back to basics. There isn't much else going on. Right now we should have snow. And as you can see this year, it's crazy. But you can see what the squirrels do is they chew great big holes, and then all the seeds just come flying out of there, and they've chewed the base of this thing almost off. The raccoons took off a whole bunch of shingles. Yeah, but it is what it is. It serves a purpose. The birds still come and feed on it. Right, guys? So for today, I'm not too worried about the rest of this ramshackle unit. I'm just going to replace the plastic. I think this one here should fit. We'll see. It's going to be close. And then I can cut some new tiny little holes in the bottom there. I really need to replace this whole base, but I don't have any pieces right now. So for now, we're going to make it work for one more season. I have more feeders here. I just don't like these feeders. The birds don't like those feeders. They just like a platform feeder. Like a glove. I know what you're thinking. Gary, those holes aren't big enough. But I've learned over the years, they'll just chew the hole bigger to whatever size they need, so start small. Anyway, it's back together, and pretty good. So it'll last another season like that. I'll fill it up. We lost another shingle over here. See, they're working. So what kind of birds do I get at the feeder here? A lot of chickadees, obviously, nuthatches, pine siskins, finches, grosbeaks, and then depending on the time of year, we get some different sparrows and things like that. Most of those songbirds and everything, they've gone south by now. If they haven't, they're probably not going to make it, because this year is a weird year. I mean, we haven't had snow yet, but usually by October, those things are heading south, right? We don't have a lot of stuff We just have the ones that live up here year round pretty much. And then next spring, you know, starting March, something like that, then I'll start getting some more colorful different things coming through. Apparently we have the odd bluebird up here, which I have never seen one. Cardinals, very, very rare up here. So I'm always on the lookout, hoping to find something like that at the feeder one day. You don't look very relaxed. Are you waiting for something? You know, this is going to be a left-handed throw. Hey! The red squirrels, yeah, they used to be my nemesis. For years, I chased them away from the feeder because they'll sit there and eat until the feeder is empty. They won't leave, and they chase the birds away. So I kind of have a war with them, but the last couple of years I've just given up and said, hey, they're beautiful little creatures too, and I am putting out the food, so it's kind of, it doesn't make sense for me. It raises my blood pressure to look out the window and see the squirrels and I'm like, ah! I even have a couple, a great big beautiful gray one and a black one that have been here the last couple winters, so I just let them eat. I just put out more food, and what I will do is I'll put out another feeder for the birds, which is one of the two that I showed you guys in the garage, if I have to. The squirrels can't get into those ones. I do what I have to do to keep everybody happy around here. So this is the time of year where Gary begins to wonder what to do with himself, because there's no photography opportunities, not a lot anyway. It's always dark and gray for the next 4 months. It's dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All the animals move out. I mean, we still run trail cameras, so we get a few things that I do feed throughout the winter. Fishers, weasels. Sometimes we even get an owl coming in to feed on mice and things that we, you know, when we put meat in the logs, a lot of people don't know that mice eat meat. And then the owls come in and get the mice. So we have got that on trail camera. We get some cool stuff, but Gary basically wanders around aimlessly for the next 4 months, right? The woods are pretty much empty at this point. Usually we have snow. So I'm gonna try to concentrate on photography for the next little bit, couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to dig deep and go to some places. The woods are still beautiful. There's just not a lot of color. Maybe black and white photography? I don't know. But I've got to do something. There goes a snowflake right past my ear. So that's telling me right there, Gary, don't get your hopes up. Actually, black and white photography in the snow can be fantastic. So if you guys are fans of the photography I do, maybe we're going to start doing some gear trips and talking gear. Oh, Sony a7 IV coming out in December. I've had my finger over the pre-order button the last couple nights. I'm like, do it, just do it. And then my wife says, you're not ordering a new camera. Oh, no, I'm just looking, dear. Just comparing specs, you know. Who needs that? I need that. I at least have to wait until January before I buy a new camera, because I'm going to write all this crap off, right, for Unfrequented World. And I already bought the, what was it, the AX700 camcorder this year. So that was a big $2,000 expense right there for the channel. So can't really, well, I mean, we could still metal detect, right? Look at the ground is here. So there is that opportunity. It's cold, it's wet. I gotta be honest, the older I get, oh, you know, if you can see your breath, you don't want to have wet gloves on for hours at a time. It's just, it's not enjoyable. I'm trying to do the things I enjoy. So I think it's going to be photography, a lot of bushwalks. That is something that has saved my butt the last couple of years, is bushwalking with you guys. We can just pick a topic, take Gage for a run. And I'm trying to stay out of the swamp right now. I was going to go for a walk around the 90-acre trail. Haven't been back there in 20 days. But the swamp is full of water. There's so much water. And Gage just, I know he's a chocolate lab, but he becomes a mud lab. I don't know what we're going to do for four-wheeler. I had planned on reviewing it, using it. At this point, I'm so disappointed. I haven't heard anything. And here we are closing in on the end of November. The guy doesn't have the plow ready for it. I almost felt like telling him, then you keep the effing bike. I don't need it. Because at this point, hunting season's over, and if you don't have a plow for me to do my driveway this winter, then you might as well keep the bike in the garage all winter. Just leave it at the shop, because all I'm going to do is go pick up a $15,000 bike and park it outside, because you can't use it in the snow up here. You know, when you got 3 feet of snow, a bike is no good for anything. So it's good to go up and down the driveway with a plow on it, but that's it. So I'm kind of annoyed with those guys because they lied to me. They flat out lied to me when I ordered the bike. the guy said, oh, we've got a shipment coming in September. What they failed to tell me was every one of those bikes in that shipment was already sold. Everybody that I'm talking to now after the fact has told me that for the last year, over a year, it has been a minimum of a 4-month wait for a bike. I didn't know that, right? And so when I talked to the guy and I ordered one in the beginning of August and he told me they would be in, a shipment would be in September 15th, I didn't question it. I'm like, whew, a month? That's a pretty long wait. Not really, Gary, because here we are almost 4 months later and you still don't have a bike. So I'm going to be processing the deer here at the house. Don't worry, I'm not going to show in great detail. I will show you guys some of the sausage that I make. But I bought all new gear to do it here in my own garage this year. I'm going to start doing it myself. My dad's not going to be around much longer. Some of you guys asked, you know, when I shot the deer this year, you said, well, how come you drug the deer out whole and you didn't get it? Trust me, I would love to do things my way, but when you hunt with your dad, and you've been hunting with your dad since you were 5 years old, it's dad's way or the highway, right? It doesn't matter. I'm going to be 50 in 5 years, and I still don't know anything, right? Dad'll, don't gut that deer, we're going to hang that and gut it, right? So follow dad's rules. And you can't do anything about it after 40 years of hunting together. That's just the way it is. And at this point, there's another side to it. I could be rebellious and say, you know what, forget that, Dad. I'm doing this the way I want to do it. But then I'm taking a job away from him at this point, which is he loves to hang the deer, gut the deer, skin the deer, get it ready for processing, and then it hangs in his yard for 9 or 10 days before we get to it. That's the way meat is supposed to hang. I don't know why. The old timers could tell you why. My grandfather would tell you why. I don't know why. I just know it's what we do. But if I took that job away from my dad, then he would be embittered because, oh, nobody needs me anymore. He certainly doesn't shoot deer anymore or game anymore. I'll tell you that. He's gotten 2 deer in the last 14 years. It's hard to see them get old, but that's what's happening. I'll set up my garage with all my tools out there, all my knives out there, all my food bins. Everything is like super duper. I'm like beyond food clean control. Like, I got to eat this. I'm making sure I'm doing this in the cleanest. You know, my dad is old school. Like, oh, you know, we never got sick. We've been using this same cutter for 40 years. No, not anymore. So Gary's going to process his own meat. I just cut the deer in half. I said, here, Dad, you take your half. I'm going to take mine. And I have to do that moving forward because in the years to come, it's just going to be me and my brother hunting anyway. So Grant has been processing his own for quite a while. He got fed up with the my way or the highway years ago. So I'm at that point as well. So, and yes, for those of you wondering, Gary got around to washing his hunting boots. Actually, I washed this pair. No, I checked first. There was no way I was going to stick my face in there if those weren't the clean ones. Trust me.